Morning, everyone. Season's greetings to you. I hope you're all well today and ready to do a bit of writing with me. Our topic is seasonal scribblings. So obviously that is largely around Christmas. I've had a quick check and Hanukkah has finished. So the season that we're celebrating now or commemorating now will be Christmas. So I have some prompts for you. Some of them short, a couple of them longer. If I get time, I'll read a few bits of my scribblings to you, but we're doing this for an hour, so we tend to be a bit tight for time. But we'll see how we go. I've got my trusty ticker to keep me on track, and things to remind you. If you want to type any comments in the comments box, I'll try and read those out. If you want to choose your best sentence that you write and type it in, it'd be great to hear those. Some of the activities I'm going to do are lists. So if you want to choose a couple of the things that you've added to your list and put them on to share with everyone, that would be fantastic. And just say hi. It'd be nice for you to hear who's following the prompts today. As I say, I will. Oops, if I get to that one there. There you go, we've got people already. Morning, Sue. Good morning to you. Morning, everyone at the Virtual Village Hall. It's great to be back for another session. So, let's get cracking. Let's do a quick warm-up. Morning, Kath. Welcome. Hope you've got your pens ready and getting ready to crack on. I'm going to do a quick warm-up activity. It's one of mine. I don't know if I've done this with you before, but it's called It's Not A. It's where you think sideways a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple of objects. And you will see I have my Christmas tree here. I've just put up specially for you today, getting ahead of myself. So one of the objects would be a Christmas tree. It's not a Christmas tree, it's a. What is it? Or, if you don't want to do the Christmas tree, I've got this one. A bauble from it. It's not a bauble. It's what could it be? It could be a disco lamp for the mouse family celebrating Christmas. It could be an earring. I have worn those earrings before. So think sideways a little bit creatively. A list of things. It's not a Christmas tree. It's not a shiny red bauble. And the last one is it's not a bottle of Prosecco. So you could write a list of 20 things that each of these aren't, or you could write a list of something about each of them. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock, see how that goes, remembering that a ticking clock in the background is a really good thing for getting us to stop overworrying that the things we're writing are or aren't sensible and just get them down. So morning, Kelsey. Okay. So it's not a shiny red bauble, it's not a bottle of Prosecco, it's not a Christmas tree, but what is it instead? Off you go. About 1 minute left. There you go, 3 minutes up. Finish the one that you're on. Okay, clock's still ticking. So I ended up doing the bauble again. And remember, if you want to put any of yours in the comments, that'd be great. I'll share them around. It's not a bauble, it's a disco ball for the Pogles. I changed it to the Pogles. I don't know if any of you out there used to watch the Pogles in the 60s. It's a piece of plastic shaped as a sphere and coloured red. It's a thing which, with its brethren, is difficult to store and spends most of its existence in the loft. It's an object of delight for a small child and a bargain in the January sales. And in fact, I don't think I even got these in January. I'm sure they were a few days before Christmas when I got these. So that's that. And then I did the little bottle of Prosecco. It's not Prosecco, it's a Secret Santa gift for under a £5. A potential headache for the morning after. That's a bit negative. It's cute. They're so cute, those little bottles. And it's a bottle of fun and laughter. A bottle of bubbles and fun and laughter. So yeah, there you go. I hope that's warmed your writing muscles. Okay. So I'm going to dive straight into Christmas as the only thing that you can do. I put I call these my Christmas earrings. My mother bought me these for Christmas years ago. And I no longer have my mum, so they remind me of her. And I put my Christmas bar humbug badge on. I don't know, this is the second Christmas writing activity I've done for the RBS. I don't know if I mentioned last year that I'm a bit on the bar humbug side with Christmas. And I'm usually late getting ready for it. I'm a little bit ahead this year, thank goodness. Let me know how you're getting on, have you had your first Christmas card yet, and whether you're ready, whether you've got your cake made, if that's your tradition, and any presents. Have you written your cards? I still haven't written mine. Any of my friends watching, hopefully you'll get them soon. Yeah, but otherwise I do have some presents this year, which is unusual at this time of year. Kath, morning Kath. So, again, sorry, Kath. Prosecco. It's excitement waiting to implode. Ooh, yes, it is very deep. Gordon, morning. Morning, Jan. First visit here, nice to see you. First card arrived this week, but still to wrap presents and working on free writing competition to win whiskey glasses. Oh, wow, thank you for that link. That would be great. You'll flip over to that and see. Is there a particular topic? Jan, do you have to write about whiskey? Yeah. Drinking stories are always a good topic for Christmas. Prosecco, it's taking down juice. Okay. Is that after you've drunk it, Sue? Is it? Do you mean that it takes you down in spirits? Falling down, right? Lovely, thank you. Yeah, it is definitely falling down juice. Yeah, it's it can be dangerous, can't it? So delicious that there's a tendency to keep going with it past the sake of the point of sense. But it is lovely. It is very nice, very Christmassy. All right. Okay, thank you for those. Right, so the next thing. just another quick thing. So Christmas is, again, I do love lists. I notice that sometimes I over rely on lists, but you could write a list here of what Christmas is. Just we're going to have a very short space of time, but begin the sentence with Christmas is, and then write what it is for you. And you can either carry on that idea into one piece about Christmas, or if you get stuck, just go back to writing Christmas is and begin again with something else, because there are so many aspects to Christmas. So tell us what Christmas is for you. And again, I'm going to try 3 minutes. What is Christmas? And that could be personally for you. It could be in the wider world. It could be in a religious sense. It could be in a secular sense, because most people across the world now commemorate Christmas in some form or other. It's a Western culture that's spread with the rise of Disney and what have you, largely. So 3 minutes. Tell me what Christmas is for you, and then write in the box in the comments to share what your thoughts are. Go. Christmas is. Okay, 3 minutes up. Just a few more minutes just to finish off a thought. Okay. So tell me, Christmas is, what have you put? What is Christmas to you? I have put from the factual. Christmas is a winter festival, originally pagan, but merged with the Christian commemoration for the birth of Jesus Christ. It's an opportunity for thinking of family, friends, people near to you, but those we haven't seen for some time. That's where the cards and the Christmas letters come in. The time, and I don't know if you heard it going by, I have the window open, but it's the time when the local steam train where I live is wrapped in bright lights and is visited by families waiting to meet Santa. So I'm lucky enough to have that at the bottom of my garden, and I see the lights going up and down as the Santa train goes by. And Christmas can be a lonely time if you're missing family and loved ones who've passed on. So yeah, it can be a bittersweet time as families get smaller and move away. Children grow up and move away, and your members of your family pass on. It can be a time to feel sad at them going. Okay, but also a time to remember the times that you did spend together. So that it is definitely a time to look back and think about the past and commemorate it. I'm waffling now. Yeah, okay. Is anybody else? Somebody save me. Tell me some Christmas is anybody? Feel free to share it in the comments. So it's certainly a wonderful time for children. And the awe and wonder. Thank you, Jen. Christmas for me is spending time away with family. Something sadly we couldn't do last year. Christmas present exchange then had to be in a car park, which is why we are both looking forward to having our first Christmas day together with 2 of our 3 grandchildren. A Santa train visit may well be on the cards too. Oh, excellent. I hope you enjoy that. Our practical Christmas present to each other this year is to replace the window blinds, long overdue. That sounds wonderful. Yes, lots of us missed out on spending time with family last year, didn't we? I had my daughter here, but we weren't able to join up with her brother and other members of the family because of shielding, people who had got pinged to say they'd been with somebody who had COVID. So I think this year, for those of us who can actually spend time with family, it's going to have an extra special meaning, isn't it? Jackie, morning Jackie. Looking forward to church service. Yes, again, Christmas church services are on here in my town. So I'm not religious. I think I may have said that to you before, but I love the church and I love the sense of community. And there was a period a few years ago where pre-COVID, where I was feeling very lonely and missing my parents particularly, but my routine of Christmas, which had changed. And there was a point that I went into the church during a carol service and felt part of a community. It was absolutely wonderful. It was one of those magical times in life when they say we need the dark points in life when we do have the brightness for it to have meaning for us, and that definitely did. I love the church. I love my local church community. Kath says the delay in writing those cards. Yes, definitely. Have I missed the overseas post? Yes, that's the question I ask myself too. Maybe. The list of presents and last minute wrapping. How many socks do my lads actually need? Great question. The list of cooking and baking for the big day. I always make too much. It always gets eaten. Pork pies, gammon, sticky toffee pudding. All of us sat round having a lovely time and playing fun games. Yeah, excellent. Pork pies. I was thinking of pork pies in my husband's family. Pork pies for Christmas Day breakfast was a tradition which I believe he still carries on. Yes, Christmas cards. Mine end up being late. My overseas ones, because I write such long letters, they get them in the new year. But apparently my relatives don't mind. And socks. You've got to buy socks, haven't you? It is tradition. Yep, Jan Melton Mowbray pork pies, definitely. They're best. Yeah, okay. I'm going to move on to the next thing because I'll come back. If you want to put more on, please feel free. It's lovely to see those. Right. So I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I'm a primary teacher. I still do a little bit of supply, but in my earlier years, I was a class teacher. And I have lots of memories of getting the children ready for Christmas. It's a time of panic for teachers. Can we get it all in? Can all 30 children make a calendar for their mums and dads, a calendar and a Christmas card in time for the end of term? And is it our turn to do the nativity? And who's nabbed all the shiny card and sending a child down to, let's make up a name, Miss Brown's class to see if she's got a cupboard full, a secret stash of shiny card, and somebody's taken more of the calendar tabs than they should have done. And yeah, so as a primary teacher, I have lots and lots of memories of getting ready for Christmas. But also as a child, I should have been the Archangel Gabriel in the infant play, blonde hair, quiet child, big blue eyes at that time, and I had so much time off with bronchial things that when I went back to school, they'd given the part to somebody else. And I can't remember the girl's name, but if I ever see her, grown-up woman in town, I still look and go, there's that woman who stole my part in the nativity play. Poor woman, it wasn't her fault at all. My brother had a similar thing. I don't know if he'd been off ill, but he, again, a blonde child was picked for Archangel Gabriel. And when he got back to school, the role had been given to somebody else. And the boy wet himself on stage, so my brother is in his 60s now, but still remembers that with glee. They gave the part to somebody else. And I'm just going to wave this book at you. I don't know if any of you have ever read this book. Oh, it's called The Fib, but actually a collection here of 3 different books. George Layton, he in the 60s and 70s, he was in a programme, as an actor in a programme called Doctor in the House and other comedy plays. And this book is very, very funny. It's about his childhood growing up in the late 40s and the 50s, post-war. Or a character growing up. It might not be him, of course. But he talks about the Christmas party. Should we read that a little bit? Let's have a look. Our classroom looked smashing. Lots of silver tinsel and crepe paper and lanterns. We'd made the lanterns, but Miss Taylor had brought the rest herself out of her own money. Only today and tomorrow, and then we break up. Mind you, if school was like this all the time, I wouldn't be bothered about breaking up. Putting up Christmas decorations and playing games, much better than doing writing and spelling any day. I watched the snow coming down outside, smashing. More sliding tomorrow. I love Christmas. I wish it was more than once a year. Miss Taylor started tapping on the blackboard with a piece of chalk. Everyone was talking, and she kept on tapping until the only person you could hear was Norbert. Look, if I get a 6 and land on you, you get knocked off, and I still have another go. The whole class was looking at him. Look, when Colin got a 6, he landed on me, and he got another. Suddenly he realised that he was the only one talking, and he started going red. Thank you, Norbert. I think we all know the rules of Ludo. Miss Taylor can be right sarcastic sometimes. Everybody laughed. Even Miss Taylor smiled. And she goes on then to talk about the school party, and children are going to be bringing in food for the party. She's asking them to write down what they're going to be bringing in. Just a reminder. Those days your parents would make something and you take it in. And the story carries on that the character, who's never actually named, makes what he thinks is blancmange, and it all goes horribly wrong. But it's thanks, Kathy. I love the fib. The balaclava story is incredibly Incredibly good, yes. And I've had that, having to explain to children what a balaclava is. You don't see them anymore. But so yeah, I love school stories. So have you got a school story yourself as a child? It could be about a nativity play. It could be about a school party when you were a child. School concerts that you went to or took part in. It could be about yourself as a child. It could be about watching your children or grandchildren in a play. Very funny things happen in those. I'm sure we'll get some of those stories. It may be that you worked in a school or volunteered when children you knew were doing something at school and you went in. Something funny happened. We used to have mums come along to help when we went to watch the pantomime in town. Yeah, memories of school, putting things up at school, the traditions at school, making things at school, anything you like. And I'm going to, what have we got on? I think I'll put, let's try 7 minutes on this one. I might have to extend it if we need a little bit longer. I'm aware that we're going through these quite quickly, but you can always come back and work on them a bit more. So 7 minutes, a memory or a story, and it could be fiction. If you don't want to write a memory, you could write a fictional piece in the way that the story is in the film. Off you go, 7 minutes. Okay, I'm actually going to do just another 2 minutes, I think. If you've already finished, just look back over what you've written and see if you can add any. Okay, just finish the one that you're on. Okay, so I'll share the ones I've got. Again, feel free to share what you've written in the comments, that would be great. So, where did I get to? I'm thinking largely infants. Here you go. The time when we went to watch my nephew, who's now in his 40s. So, the time we went to watch my nephew in the infant nativity, back in the day when it was called Rising Fives rather than early years or foundation stage. Myself and my sister were on bucket chairs halfway back in the big Victorian hall with its high ceiling and large windows shining light down onto the angelic little heads. My nephew, on a box on the stage, sitting on a box on the stage, suddenly spotted us and shouted, "Hello, Mum! Hello, Auntie Alison! Miss Smith, I can see my mum and my Auntie Alison. Look, there they are." Too much laughter from everyone. He quietened down in the end. And then the next one is the time my own daughter was an angel in the nursery nativity play. And I sat watching her. White angel dress, sparkly tinsel around her head. Her plump toddler fingers stretched out, following the actions of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Amusingly, she thought Jesus' mum was called Turban Mary. Took her a few years to stop thinking it was Turban Mary. And the last one, the time I was an infant myself and we made Christmas party hats and all sat in the hall, very excited indeed, waiting for the Christmas party, which turned out to be just a bit of a sing-song and with no food and no present. I remember the confusion and the disappointment to this day. I've never seen the like. And that reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever read Sided with Rosie with Laurie Lee, when on the first day at school his teacher told him to sit there for the present. And he went home crying to his mum that he'd sat there and they never gave him a present. And my day was a bit like that. So I hope you've got some good memories there, or a story or a poem. As I say, well, they're quite short writing activities, but it's a good way to generate ideas which you can go back to and tidy up. into something. And if you do that and you want to email them to me, if you go to my website, I know www.alisonmott.com, and there's a contact form there. If you want to send me the bits of writing, I'd love to see them. I could maybe read them out in next year's writing prompt activity. So, let me see. We have 20 minutes left. As usual, I've done far too many things. And again, if you go to my website, there's a link to last year's Christmas writing prompts. I'll also put that in here. In the comments at the end when we finish, I'll put a link to last year's. So if you didn't join me last year, there are some prompts you could do there. But there's also a downloadable document of the prompts I didn't use last year. If you want some more, let's have a look. Kath has put, the children of class 2 all trailed on stage, cramped together to get them all on. A bright, jolly tune was struck, and all the children joined in with the song. As they sang, they swayed, and as the song took up pace, the greater they swayed, until poor Stephanie on the end, who was really wrapped up in the song, swayed herself off the stage, dropping off the end. A teacher ran up to help Stephanie up off the floor, who could be heard very loudly saying, "I fell off." There was much giggling. Excellent. Thank you, Kev. Yes, lots and lots of mileage and funny stories with nativity plays, aren't there? And they're great. They're great. Right, okay, so my last prompt, we might get two in if I'm quick. So I don't know if you see behind me. Oh, I have to be very careful with this. So my mother had a thing about buying shiny things. Christmas, she loved Christmas particularly. And these are globes. So this is one I inherited from her house when she passed on. I brought this home. It's been in the shed this morning. It's still very, very cold. It was very misty when I came in. So this one's just an ordinary globe. Ordinary slow. I can't say it. Snow globe. You see, it's a snowman on his motorbike with the boy at the back. A fabulous film. So that could be a prompt. It might remind you of the film if you've got memories of the film. My mum really, really loved it. And I love the guy whose name's gone now, Raymond Briggs. Raymond Briggs, I love his work. I remember my brother buying me the Father Christmas book and me sitting for hours reading it, even though I was a teenager, I think. Anyway, so that's my mother's snow globe, which I inherited from her house when she passed on. And the Santa was hers. His nose has fallen off. And I keep meaning to make him a new one, but I haven't yet. Maybe this year he'll get one. But my mum bought this for my children. And again, it's been in the shed and it's very cold. And the cord has snapped all the glue. It's, I'm afraid, in 3 pieces. So let's do this very delicately. It's actually a musical box, this one. A boy and a girl, dressed in Victorian or Edwardian clothes, sitting on a bench with a Christmas tree. Okay. So that's a very traditional image of Christmas, isn't it? A lot of our traditions and stories and the theme of Christmas, even in our modern world, is drawn from Victorian. They say that Dickens was the inventor of Christmas, don't they? And that he wrote a Christmas carol. He wrote a Christmas story every year that's kind of cemented the traditions of Christmas at the time into our psyche, our own tradition. Yeah, and that image, and also a Christmas card here. I bought these. I haven't sent out yet, but that is my favourite image of Christmas. I remember when we used to have advent calendars with windows on and little pictures inside, and I had one that was very similar to this. You didn't get chocolates in those days, you just had the fun of opening it to see what the picture was. And my brother used to open them early, so we'd go down and peel it back, and he'd already opened it, which was annoying, much as I love him. But yeah, that image of looking into a Christmas window is very evocative for me. I think I can remember standing. We had a little set of shops on the housing estate that I lived on, and there was the hardware store used to sell bits and bobs, and me coming past it on the way home from school and looking in at the display and working out if I'd got enough money to buy my mum some of the perfume that was in the window. It's also, it reminds me quite a bit of the Little Women film, where I'm sure that must have been in one of the old versions, they were standing outside of a window looking in. I may have that wrong, but it's there twiddling at the back of my memory. So anything that any of those things spark for you. Could be a story about children on a bench in winter. Have they got ice skates on? I don't think they have. Could be a story of the snowman. It could be standing looking in a shop window as a child. It could be, I had somebody in my writing group once wrote a story of children in a snow globe, as if that was a little world, a separate world, separate on the mantel shelf. So whatever you like. So if we say 10 minutes on this one, and then thank you for I've got a few more things here. Oh, thank you, parents. Yeah. Much giggling by the parents. Thank you. We have a couple more from Jan that I will read. But let's have a quick writing activity. I'll do 8 and see how that goes. And then we'll share what we have. you just want to finish the one that you're on, the little bit that you're on. Okay, how did you do? Okay, so I've ended up writing. I've only a beginning. It would need tidying up. I'm going down the route with my mother. There you go. Let's see. I'm not sure where it's going, but we'll see. I'll work on it and see what happens. Mum on Christmas. It's called. Mum, I have not had a great childhood. My mother had not had a great childhood in the war. And the one memory of childhood Christmas, she did share it with me, it was an unhappy one. So she determined to give her children what she hadn't had, a magical Christmas with every wish fulfilled, a table groaning with food, and spent in the bosom of a family with both sets of grandparents, the local ones, the Yorkshire ones, when they could get to us, a house full of people and presents and love. And my memory of childhood Christmases very much fulfill my mother's wish, fond memories and that feeling of love. Actually, our little council house was so overstuffed with bodies, it must have been a nightmare for the adults. But I'll always cherish the effort they put in, and it was worth it. As we grew up, Mum then tried to recreate that same sense of awe and wonder for her grandchildren, which generally played out through her buying every kind of Christmas decoration available and sending them on through the post from a distance. There you go. I was working up to the story of how we got so many baubles, very expensive snow globes, and Santas that danced, and other things that we then had to store in the loft for a year and buy batteries for. But yes, so as a young woman, while I tutted about the tat, obviously now at the same age, the age she was, I'm thankful she did, and I am sorry I was so moany about it. I think that's probably where my piece was going. So let's have a look then. Jan, loved helping out at my children's nativity. Problem was, being a popular mum who helped different primary teachers on various times during the week, I found myself dressing children from 2 or 3 different classes and escorting them out in the main hall, so never really got to see the entire performance. Oh, usually by the time of the Christmas party, I'd be full of cold, but still loved watching their antics. A cold that was something else that became a young mum's tradition. Yes, that's true, isn't it? Christmas colds. The minute children set foot in primary schools, they start getting them. My daughter's training to be a primary teacher at the moment and is already beginning to get them. She's been told it'll be 2 or 3 years before she's immune. And Jan says, gracious, that takes me back seeing that snow globe. Right, what I'll do is I'll put my email address. When this is finished, I'll stick my email address in the comments. So if you find the recording of this, you'll find my address. I'll put my website and my address. So you can either contact me through my website, or I will put an address there as well. Kath says, as a child, I was taken by train to nearby Bradford. The train journey alone, although only 11 minutes, was exciting, and leaving Bradford station, the buildings were large and the shops were big and bright and different to the ones we had at home. The Galt toy shop was a must visit, along with the large department store where the smell of perfume would envelope you as you walked through. The lights were brighter and it was all very exciting and a lovely Christmas memory. Yeah, shops are wonderful, aren't they, at Christmas? I'm trying to think what it had been. It's been my 50th birthday. Myself and some colleagues who were celebrating being 60 had a day in London. It's the first time I've ever seen the lights in London. And we went into Fortnum and Mason's and had tea. And the windows were absolutely beautiful. I loved that. Just take you back to being a child when you see these things, doesn't it? Very magical. Love Christmas windows. I think they're wonderful. Okay, it's 12. We're done. Thank you for joining me today. As I say, I'll put an email address. I think I've read everybody's comments. Didn't miss anybody. Okay. I'll put an email address and my website in the comments. So if you do tidy anything up and you want to send it to me, that would be wonderful. Thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been great. I've really enjoyed seeing you today. Thank you. Bye. Have a good Christmas.